Aries, Luna here bringing you your fairy blessings for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like to check out on Patreon your spells, rites, rituals, and incantations for the month of April through May, go ahead and do so. That is available on Patreon, as well as the energy check-in for the full moon that we just had in Libra. Because just because the full moon passed doesn't mean you still don't have lessons to learn from. Okay, guys? So I use the Lens Rider Tarot for that. So let me go ahead and just jump into the Fae blessings. So Aries, you are my first read of the day. I'm not saying this isn't normal, but I've been in a phase, and I don't know if you guys have been in this phase too, but because of the way the world is right now, I've just been in a mood, to say the least. And it's been, I mean, you guys kind of get it because Scorpio's your 8th house naturally. So it's like, you know, that energy of sex, death, rebirth, kind of Plutonian in nature. And with Pluto currently in Capricorn, which is your natal 10th right now, it's, and I'm talking natal progression here, but the reason I bring it up is just because, like, there's a lot going on with Capricorn and Pluto. Pluto should be going retrograde about now. Mercury's going to start going retrograde in Taurus right now. And that's your 2nd house, which we kind of spoke on last time. And I just don't know if it's you guys are feeling this uptick in the weirdness of the energy of the planet. I know I am as a water sign. But let me know about the fire signs. Like, do you guys feel that? And oh, make sure to join my TikTok. I actually do have a TikTok. It should be on my link tree. And if you want to tip or donate or book an emergency session with me, please do so at the link in the description box down below. That is the only ones that I use, that I personally approve of, because I'm a one-woman show. And I will be open for readings until basically Memorial Day here in the States. Reason being is because I have a family engagement that is going to take 2 weeks of my time. So in the meantime, if you cannot book me for a session at the times I'm available, you can still book me and just put the time that you want a video delivered on the times that I have available. So you will have a recorded reading from me using tarot, astrology, or oracle, whichever you decide. So just a second here. Show me for Aries, please. The Fae message that is coming through for Aries. Show me, please. Clearest of divine guidance. My beautiful Sealy court. My beautiful Sealy fairies. Oh, all right. Let's see what we got. Oh, I actually have not worked with this one. It is a blessing of Nefer. Interesting. We're going to read from the book on this one, Aries, because I have yet to pull this one. Oh my God. And I went right to the page. How funny. Oh, okay. A blessing. This is a fairy gift of life force, health, and validity. Interesting, Aries. Are we going through a time where you guys have been questioning if things are valid in your reality? And I only say that because it's rare for me to pull a card of validity. I mean, technically it's a fairy blessing, right? So the fairy blessings are different than the tarot and the oracle. The oracle is like, here, this is a message. The tarot is like, this is the message, this is what you do. But this is something that is already working for you in your 3D reality that the Fae just want to give to you. So if you have, and the funny thing is the reason I say, well, you know, the cards are all about validating, because in some way or another, these energies validate our experience. I pull jumpers, so that way it shows I'm legit as a reader as to what exactly has been going on in my clients' lives. Some readers don't work that way, and yet they can still validate situations. But nonetheless, whatever cards come out, whether it's tarot, oracle, or blessing, they always have a bit of truth in the validity of their statements. But if this is a validity as a whole, this is talking about questioning our entire existence of validity and reality, which now I get why I started out with that question of if you guys are sensing what I'm sensing as a water sign. Because as a water sign, I'm just feeling everything is off right now with a lot of energies out there, and it's chaos. But see, you guys come from chaos, okay? You're the spark of fire that is light, that is created through chaos. And as cool as that is, there's a lot of method to the madness, but for me, it looks just like madness. But to you, Aries, it normally doesn't. This is your norm. And so for me as a water sign, I just don't know how the hell y'all operate like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all please don't hate me. But I really don't, because as a water sign, like I also have major earth placements and Sagittarian placements. Like, I gotta have order. But Aries, you don't run that way. And maybe this is a time where I need to take a lesson from y'all, because given you had Mars and you had Eris together last month, Mars, I believe, has moved out of Aries. If not, he is slowly moving out at this time and will be moving into Taurus, which Mars in Taurus is way easier to deal with than Mars in Aries. But that will still affect you, because it's almost like it's going to mellow you out. And this is definitely a Mars and Taurus placement for me with this Fae blessing, because since Mars is our activator, our naturally geared activator, in Taurus, this is about nurturing, which fiery Mars isn't exactly used to. So he has to turn this fire energy into creation and give it to Venus to nurture. And so depending on where Venus is right now, I haven't checked today. I've been super busy the last 2 weeks like a mad woman. So I apologize. The astrology is not where I want it to be for you guys. Normally I have all this like laid out, but I'm not going to be able to do that until June, like mid-June, after I take those 2 weeks off for a family wedding. So, because I've got new family members joining our family, and that's not a bad thing, but I've got to meet a lot of them. It's going to take time. So just bear with me, you guys. Once I have that done, I'll be able to ideally get things on track with that. But it's interesting because this book mentions that, but it's like, it says that the Fae offer you the gift of Nephre, the blessing of health, energy, clear, and revitalization, which will manifest in a kind of glow all about you, radiating from within. See, and that's what Venus does. That's what Venus will do to you, depending on the sign. But since Venus is going to be heading, I don't know if she's in Taurus right now. So many people go by so many different astrology charts that I can't tell you, or astrology methods that I can't tell you what yours is, but I can tell you where I last tracked Venus. She should be in Taurus right now for me. If you do Eastern, might be a little bit different, so just FYI. But I'm pointing this out because Venus in Taurus is a natural placement for Venus to be in. Same with Venus in Libra and Venus in Pisces. So if Venus is in another sign, it's not that it's not natural, but I can't say she won't hit her full peak. She will still always hit her full peak, but there are either going to be limitations or barriers that the goddess of love will have to tame. And the interesting part about this, Aries, is that for you with this blessing, since it's moving into Taurus, right? We have everything moving into Taurus. Mercury will be retrograde there. Mars most likely will be there. And Uranus is going to be there. Then if Venus hasn't moved into Taurus already, she may still be in Aries, but no, I feel like she's more in Taurus. I just keep picking that up because of what this card said. Like, that's very Venusian in nature. So that Mars energy that you have, Aries, is basically going to kind of be nurtured by Venus, but the retrograde's going to, oh, dang, because the retrograde with Venus, Mars, and Uranus. Oh, shit. And Pluto going retrograde at the same time. Oh, I don't really like that as an astrologer. I gotta be honest. As an astrologer who's been doing readings for like 14 years, it's one thing to have like Mercury and Pluto in retrograde. Okay? But it's another to have, those. Sorry, guys. Hold on. There's like, my computer is like, update now. And I'm like, how about no? Sorry, y'all. Anyway, the reason I'm pointing this out with this card is because Uranus is awesome in Taurus. Like, he's usually been allowed to allow the Tauranians to expand. Now, how this hits you is in your second house of money and inner security. Because when money, inner security, sanctuary, because I'd say the home nowadays is our sanctuary. It's where we decompress, it's where we relax, and it's where we're allowed to be sensual, or, you know, where we're just allowed to be ourselves. Even if you're single or if you have children, my busy moms know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, they got to take the bath and they got to decompress and let the kitties go, you know, be watched by dad for a minute, have spa day. And that's very much what Taurus energy does. But in the second part of your chart for you guys, Aries, it's a little bit different. It takes that energy of relaxation, and Mars is just kind of like, I can't relax. I can't relax. I got to make money. I can't relax. I got to make money. Like, I got to make the money because I have this passionate, fiery energy. But then Venus is like, shh. Like, shh. It's okay. Calm down a second. Because then Mercury's going to come in and be like, yo, brother. Because that's what Mercury, I always think of Mercury like that when he's retrograde. He's like, yo, brother. What's up? Like, you know, and then he's just crazy because he causes chaos, right? And I've been telling y'all this. He causes chaos, but it's always chaos about reflecting and going forward with that. And so to have Uranus and Taurus right now is going to expand on all three of those planetary alignments, right? I know it's kind of crazy how I can act them out when they're, it's a talent, but that's how they are, like in the different signs. But in Taurus, I wouldn't say Mercury is muted, because he's going to behave more in the 3D, which is what the Fae actually rule, because it's us, right? Us and the Fae. We share this plane of existence with them. I've been saying that for the last month that I've been doing these readings, making that clear, abundantly clear. And so if you're working with Fae blessings, then these are going to help us dealing with Mercury, because right now he's going pre-shadow. He is not full shadow phase retrograde yet, thank God. Because I tell people, don't wait as things go more and more progressed shadow for Mercury to take hold. And the reason for that is because the more he goes shadow, the less time you and directional energy you have to get things to become stable. And because that's his job. Like, it's his job to make us reflect on what is stable for us and what is not. What is working right now and what isn't. Is this business or is this, you know, commerce? Is the commerce turning into theft? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it because he's also the god of thieves. So, you know, travel wrecks. Like, it's a very juxtaposition that Mercury does, because he can transverse all the realms too. And since Taurus is a fixed sign that deals with travel right now, we also need to think in terms of, and apparently there's this huge event where a lot of the planets are starting to align in the sky, which I'm kind of excited for. But Aries, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime, like ever, except maybe, you know, when when Jupiter and Saturn aligned 2 years ago, which was a very big deal. And also the comets that came around in 2019, very beautiful. It was around my birthday. There were these amazing astronomical events. And yet we have another one, and there's an eclipse coming on the horizon. And I am like, oh shit. It's another like, oh, kind of moment where you got to double take the astrology, because whatever is happening with the astrology, guys, even though it's astrology and these are Fae blessings, the astrology tends to realign, reshift, and rebalance the 3D blueprint down here. Now, the Fae work with the energy in all realms, in every realm. They work with that. They bring the 3D to life in every realm. That's kind of their job. It's how I look at it, because they kind of remind the other realms of energetic beings of what they are, and then what humans are capable of, and our capacity to work with them or not work with them. And so the beauty of this card, though, is it's almost like, I know you're not a mystical person, Aries, but I feel like you're about to go through some major gateway in your second house that's going to cause you to shift. And that can be positive or negative, but depends on how you shift, right? Because shifting has to do with frequency and vibration. And this isn't just shift for the positive. No, same thing goes for negative. You open yourself up to negative, you'll descend in your frequency and vibration. That's just how it is. And The thing is what the book is saying about this is you're going to be given more energy. It says to move well and to be of good cheer, to do what needs to be done and what you wish to do, okay? With this fairy blessing comes a sense of being here and being grounded and centered, of strength and a thriving energy, of feeling strong and well connected and supported, which honestly you could use before a retrograde, because then you're strong enough to kind of get through the retrograde, which Mars, that's exactly what Mars and Venus are going to do. Even though Mercury is all about not having new growth, if you plant the seeds now, it's technically not new growth when it's a retrograde. Just FYI, that's a hack of mine. If you do it while it's still pre-shadow and the energy is as directional as possible, it is technically a new seed that has already been planted. So when everything goes into retrograde mode, you can use that energy during Mercury retrograde to say, Mercury, you're not going to mess this up. I already did this directionally. I'm just going to go back and visit. Because when you do that, it hacks the energy with Mercury to come in and say, hey, I'm not working on anything new. I've already done this part. I'm just reevaluating what I wanted to do. And then Mercury's like, oh, okay. Like, I'll leave it alone, and then you're allowed to do your research or to nurture in the way that needs to be nurtured. Okay, so this is where that Venus energy, that Venusian energy is going to come in. Okay, the next bit of the book actually says, you will feel the urge to spend time outdoors with natural light. Surprise, surprise. Taurus is the first nature sign of your second house. You might actually end up finding a hobby that later, it could either bring you money or it's a money-making venture already for other people, that I would tell you don't do anything with it until Gemini and Mercury is direct in Gemini. But you might find something right now that this Taurus energy is trying to give to you, that either you can act now, set it up, and then wait a month. And if you can't, set it up or do your research first and then set it up. That's usually what I like to do with retrograde energies, is I either set something up and then when it's retrograde, I go back to revisit, because that's honestly the only thing you can really do. And to review, and peer reviews are a great time for Mercury retrograde. You catch all the mistakes too. And the thing is if this has to do with outdoor activities, I mean, honestly, Aries, this is the best time for you to be set up for that. Completely. And also it says, let's see, with the trees, with the animals, with the oceans or bodies of water, all of these sources of natural life force will leave you feeling more connected than before. Almost as if the world is speaking to you and you can speak to the world in return, which is the natural order, which is how the Fae work. If you have felt nervous, frail, unwell, or uncertain, this flow of the nearer Fae will enter you. A blessing from the realm of the Fae, and it will be of great assistance. This card is a regaining of energy, a sense of rising up from within, a greater source of validity. And this is the support of the fairy realm. This gift will be felt in the breath and blood, in the bones and in your heart, and you will shine once again with a life force and a glow that will let people know they have met a person who is well. Okay, so interesting, because the times right now have been very unsure, Aries, and if the Fae are coming in with this blessing, I'm assuming it's because you have felt not just off, I would say, in your energy, but you have felt a little low. And sometimes that actually happens to a lot. I've seen it over the last couple of years doing astrology, that when the sun leaves a sun sign, what happens is so for example, it leaves one sign and goes into another. So it went into your sign, you had all this health, this vitality, this rushing energy, everything was going forward nice, you didn't really feel too run down in your energy. You were just get up and go like you always do around your birthday. And then Taurus season hit and you were like, kind of stopping me, but not really. But now it's gonna start to come to a little bit of a halt here. And the reason for that is because that's when the sun has started to fully shift into the other sign. So again, the universe is kind of giving you this energetic boost right now. Not bad. Guys, y'all, I swear, every time I do a fire sign reading, I get really hot. And the energy, like I get hot to where I get sweaty and I'm inside and the air is at a decent level and the fans are on. It's every time I do readings like this, I get really hot. It's always with the fire signs. But the thing is, Aries, I want you to remember is you don't always have to go fast, but you need to go at an even keel of pace. Because if you go overtly fast right now while you're trying to beat the retrograde and you notice you're getting tired and you're getting like weighed down, I'm going to tell you to take a minute and stop and go pull a Venusian energy. Go be with Venus or go do what Venus would do. Now, for my gentlemen who watch this, if there are any, you probably don't know what that means. So let me explain. If you're an Aries male, that means you need to go and be around Earth mothers, or you need to instead not just be around women to use them to get that energy for yourself, but learn from them on how you can become an Earth father in your house of money. Meaning an Earth father. What would be an Earth father? A great example is my favorite, the Val father, Odin. He is very much an Earth father kind of energy. Another one would be like the earth beings in the earth gods for the Greco-Roman pantheon, or I'm trying to think of who that might be, an earth god. You could do healing, you could do, which would be Apollo, you could do Hercules, that strength kind of energy, especially if you're heavy lifting. Invoking Hercules when you're having to lift something hella heavy, oh, believe me, he'll help you out. But like, I'm talking like heavy as in, you know, something that energetically, not physically, okay? But, you know, he might lift that burden from you for a minute. Another one would be, I'm trying to think of another one that would be kind of like earth masculine. I mean, technically, I don't feel like Hercules is an earth god as in like, he creates foundations, but he did slay a lot of animals. But you could also do like Pan. What Pan? Why are you coming up? I really am not a Pan person. I've never worked with him, but he is an example of an Earth Father energy. Another one, because he's more Capricorn than Taurus for me, but okay, he wants to pop through. Fine, pop through. You know, Earth Father energy. Another one. I'm trying to think. Because for me, Earth mothers are easy. Earth fathers are a little bit different. They're more quiet. They're more resilient. They take care of the planet. But it's not just about that. They also take care of the human world. And honestly, if you want to do Earth father energy and you really want to work with the Fae and you want to ask and invoke the goddess Freya's help, because that's what you do when you start working with the Fae, so you're protected, because she is over all things Fae, Seelie, and Unseelie court. You could even work with the Elven kings or Elven courts, because they, especially the Elven kings, for my men out there, because the Elven kings are going to be straight up Earth Fae. They understand, like, oh, The Witcher has a lot of elements of Earth magic through the elves. Now, for those of you who do watch The Witcher and you're a male and you're watching this, I'm just telling you, kind of look at, what's his name? The one that Jaskier wrote the song about, or technically Dandelion. I'm going to look up his name right now because it's going to bother me. Let's see. Hold on. Hang on, guys. I got to put this card down real quick. I just want to make sure I clarify this for you. I'm hoping I can remember his name, but I can't. Hang on. Philivandrel. There we go. Sorry, I didn't even have to look it up. It came to me. Philivandrel. Philivandrel would be a good one. The one from The Lord of the Rings and the Five Armies, Orlando Bloom's, like, characters, Legolas's dad, he would be a very good Earth Father kind of energy. Terrifying, but, you know, because of his scars, and, like, he's kind of cold in nature, but sometimes the Earth signs are like that on a really shoddy day. So that's something to think on, Aries, because you have this to work on at least for the next week I'm going to say week to 2 weeks, because I know the retrograde's going to put me back. I'm going to try and get readings out as quick as possible to you guys, but I know the retrograde and I know Mercury, and Mercury likes to mess with me. He's a prankster. So, and even though he thinks he's funny, he is not funny to me sometimes, because I'm trying to like upload y'all's videos for the last several years, and it's like, then it tears and Valiant, my technology dies, it's censorship, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, you know, just stuff. So, so just know, like, you have options. Now, for my ladies, the Earth Mothers are very different. Earth Mothers and Venus placements, if you have Venus placements, or if you have, and you're in Aries and you have a Taurus Mercury or a Taurus Moon or a Taurus Venus, or just even a Taurus rising, no matter, yes, you're in Aries, or you have a lot of Taurus placements, you're going to be activated between going from active with Mars to rest and regenerative, and there's really no in between. And so what I want you guys to do as we head into retrograde is take note of when you're being overtly exerting your energy, because you'll start to feel tired and you'll be like, gosh, I feel tired, but I got to keep going. That is when you need to take a break. Even though, yes, you have health, vitality, validity behind it, with Mars being in Taurus, it's all about taking a break to nurture, using that fire energy to create, but then coming in with Venus, or this Venusian energy, even if it is your second house natally or progressively, you can still use it in other parts of your chart that have Venus to nurture you and to smooth you out a bit. Because the thing is, I don't know if it's happening to you guys or if it's happening to all of us in the zodiac, but some of us are getting riled up, especially those of us that are healers, because of what we're seeing, what's going on. And while we're trying to negate that, it's troubling. You know, times are just, we're all in turmoil. We've never had anything this colossal before. You know, the astrology is doing its work, and it's sorting things out, and we may not like that. But as Pluto goes further and further into retrograde in your 10th house, Aries, this is more or less about you reviewing how you want things to culminate in your 10th house, how you want them to grow and be the fullest of the harvest and be blessed. And so in order to do that, you must reflect. And before you can reflect, you have to get it all in order. Like, I always like to think of the earth signs realistically like planting season. This is a time where we should have already been planted and or plant now and then have a harvest in a few months, right? But you have to tend to your harvest before you can start harvesting. You can't just plant and then, you know, not have anything done. You know what I'm saying? Like, not water, not nurture, not give it sun, you know, because doing that is essentially just leaving your manifestation of planting to the weather. And sometimes the weather isn't kind. Sometimes it's harsh. Sometimes crops fail. Sometimes water dries up. You know, you gotta be a little bit more proactive. And the thing is, Aries, you're pretty active, but proactive is not one of the strong suits that you guys are known for. You guys are kind of known for procrastination and instigation, but I want you to turn those energies into proactive energies that might help you this week. So other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. If you would like to donate a tip or book a session with me, again, you can do recorded video reading. It's the same price. Just put recorded video on the when you select the time you want the video delivered, you'll have it by that time. Give me about 24 hours. Ideally, I do some same day readings. It just depends on how long it is. But right now my calendar's open. So unless I contact you otherwise saying, hey, I'm fully booked in the next 24 hours, just do what you got to do, man. If you need me now, book me. Book me, because once May 30th, May 27th rolls around, I'm off for 2 weeks for personal bookings. You can still leave me a tip. I just will be off at that time. So other than that, I'm just going to pre-record your readings so they're out on time so Mercury doesn't mess with me. And I love you guys so very much. I will see you again. Take it easy. Bye, Aries.